Thanks for the support as a channel member, the Eagles stream. All this obsession with my own tactics and watching what Dortmund are up to. Neither us or them are top of the league currently. Hello and welcome to Club 5, part 14 of Non-League to Legend. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we have a Bundesliga game for you at home against Leipzig, and we're away against Inter in the Champions League. Since you were last with me, form has continued rather well. What's that? 16 goals scored, none conceded since the last episode where we drew with Hamburg, including a 7-0 win against PSV in the Champions League. Bram Miguels, who I am assured by Belgian speakers, he is Belgian, isn't he? That it is pronounced Miguels, even though it looks like Michaels, which is why I'm saying Miguels. There was a few people in the comments yesterday saying, Kev, why are you saying Miguels? That's why, because I was told to by people who know how to say his name. So he'll be Miguels forever now. But he got 4 goals in that game. We have now won our Champions League group. In fact, we haven't won it. We've qualified from it. We have to beat Inter to win it, which is what we're going to do in the second half of this episode. But first, we need to play Leipzig. And Wolfsburg are top of the Bundesliga. They've seemed to have come from nowhere. I say come from nowhere. They did win the league 2 years ago. They've won it more recently than we have. If we have a look at past winners, we obviously had the Bayern dominance. And since then, it's kind of been Dortmund and Wolfsburg. I don't know what happened. That was the year before I came in. I guess we must have finished 4th that year. But that's why the previous manager got sacked and I arrived and started the comeback trail. But Wolfsburg looking to upset the Bayern and Dortmund party that I was expecting this season to be at the top of the league. A win here against Leipzig, and we do go back to the top. But as we've shown a couple of times already this year, in some of these big games against the better teams, Hoffenheim, Hamburg, not necessarily a better team, but a big game for us because that's one of our derbies, I think, isn't it, Hamburg? We have been known to not play very well. Okay, on very rare occasions. We're still unbeaten in a long time. More than a season unbeaten now. So I think hopefully long term it will all even out and we'll finish top of the league. But we need to win games like this one. Draws could end up costing us. Ferron in goal. A back four of Krajcu, Tigges, Banfalvi and Dombrowski. Vermonti at the base of the midfield. Andre and Lust ahead of him. Miguels, Gashi and Thorgerson are our front three. Why hasn't past Kev picked O'Hara? That's why, because he's suspended. I will allow it then, because otherwise he's one of the... O'Hara, I think, is joint second top scorer in the Bundesliga at the moment from that right-hand side. He is... he's arrived with goals in him, and I like to play him as much as I possibly can, but we've just had an international break, and Thorgerson, now fit again, after being unavailable for probably a good 5 or 6 games... it's now going to be a bit of a 3-way battle between Gashi, Thorgerson and O'Hara for the 2 spots in the team on the right wing and up front. Obviously, Gashi and O'Hara for the right wing, Thorgerson and Gashi for up front, and Miguels and Van der Hoek still competing for the left-hand side as well. Not much space in all of that for Antonio Carlos, bless him. But, you know, he'll always find a way to get involved somehow. We've had a good chance early on there that has been deemed not over the line. And Thorgerson there with a header that goes just over the crossbar. We've started brightly, but we do need to convert this bright start into goals. Goals are usually what win football matches, I've heard. And those few times where we have slipped up, it's because we've not scored goals when we should have done. Because once again, this is a football match we're dominating, but not getting the breakthrough in. So we need to convert some of these chances into goals. We've only really had the 1 half chance so far, plus the effort that I thought crossed the line, but apparently it didn't. We've got the ball back here, looking for a counter-attack through Lust, back to Vermonti, who's going to look up and pick his pass, finds Andre. Andre's got Miguels ahead of him, who can skip past his man, and that's exactly what he does, and shoots when arguably he should be playing that into the path of Thorgerson, but it was actually a decent effort that tested the keeper, but didn't test him enough. He kept hold of it, and it wasn't a goal. Right, let's passionately say it's time for everyone to dig in, because it is. We can't have another draw. Wolfsburg have only drawn once this season. Dortmund have only drawn once this season, although to be fair, they've already lost 4 times. So that's a different looking Dortmund team to the one that we've been used to from last season. But it's no good going on a long unbeaten run if we draw a quarter of our games, which is what we'll be doing after this game if we don't win it. 12 games played, 3 draws. Not acceptable for a title-winning side. Right, let's bring... I see, this is where I'd want to bring O'Hara on, but I remember, again, he's not available, so Carlos can come on and play up front. We don't have anyone to bring on for Gashi, so Gashi's going to stay on. And we'll bring Van der Hoek on. And we'll just make any attacking changes that might make a difference. Let's ask for some creativity as well. Get creative. We'll finish off with 10 minutes of passion. We're going to make another change. We're going to change the midfield up. We're going to take off Lust, who is tiring. We're going to bring on Marquez. And we're going to swap those two over. And now we are going to ask for 10 minutes of passion as soon as we're able to. But it's been another frustrating day because Leipzig have come here, not had a shot. They've come here with no intention of getting a result for themselves. They're just here to spoil our day. And this is now the 3rd time this season a team has done that to us. And it's getting annoying. Well, we're not top of the league. Right, we'll try a different combination of attacking players for the Inter game. O'Hara comes back in on the right-hand side. Gashi goes up front to play against his former club. And we're also going with Marquez in midfield instead of Lust. Thumb comes in at left-back at the expense of Kryju. Let's see if this team has goals in it. I mean, to be fair, we do seem to be better going forward in the Champions League. Probably because, this is my current working theory, we're going away to Inter now. They're going to attack us. They're not going to, at their own ground, sit with men behind the ball and try and grind out a 0-0. They're going to try and beat us, which, when teams do that, we are quite good at ripping them apart. Yeah, I don't know what option I just clicked there. Whereas when we get teams who will just put 8 men behind the ball, we do struggle a little bit to break those 8 men down. And I think that's what we need to get better at. We need someone with just a little bit of creative spark to pick those kind of locks. And I don't think that's the kind of player we've necessarily got. After all that, we've gone 1-0 down after 3 minutes. So me talking about tearing Inter apart, they're going to batter us today now, aren't they? Because they heard me saying it. I didn't mean we definitely would today. I said there's more of a chance that we could. That's what I meant. But all of our attacking players are quite direct. We don't have that sort of playmaker, number 10, sitting in there, pulling strings and picking locks and making awesome things happen. We've got, I mean, Gashi, O'Hara, Miguel's, they're all the same kind of player. They're all quick. They're all good finishers. They're all pretty direct players. Thorgerson is a finisher. And we're 2-0 down. And that's one of the players I tried to sign last summer. Ian Hendricks could have been a part of our midfield. We had an offer in for him last summer. He's one of the ones who got away. He wanted to go to Inter rather than coming to us. I think he was leaving Liverpool at the time. And he would have been alongside Marquez today because we signed Andre instead of Hendricks in the end. But Hendricks was very much somebody that I wanted. I think we're getting a reminder here today that we don't go away from home against teams like Inter with the even more attacking version of this system. We've got the 4 players on the individual attack instructions. We're still on an attacking mentality as a team. Just a nice little timely reminder. Oh, I've messed that team talk up. My assistant manager might have recovered it for me slightly. But a nice little timely reminder that the big away games we need to actually be a little bit more conservative in as well. Oh, this episode hasn't gone very well. Miguel's plays it forward, looking for Gashi to chase against his former club. Can he grab a goal? He's having a good go at it, and the keeper did really poorly, didn't really keep hold of it at all. But Gashi couldn't quite get there ahead of the defender who was chasing him. Thumb plays it into Gashi. Gashi with the cross now, looking for O'Hara coming in off the right-hand side. O'Hara's been very quiet today. Vermonti now to Dombrowski, who's going to look to beat his man and cause some trouble down that right-hand side. That's exactly what he's doing. Dombrowski beats another man, and rather than crossing, he has a shot, and he really should be squaring that. He had O'Hara, Thorgerson and Miguel was all inside of him. And, yeah, it wasn't Thorgerson, it was Gashi. But either way, should have done a little bit. Ryan Sessignon's just come off the bench. So he's obviously, well, I say obviously, he presumably has left Spurs if he's coming off the bench for Inter. As the disassembly of my Spurs team continues in my absence. Don't know why you would sell Sessegnon. Madness. Right, we're going to do a triple substitution. And we're, again, trying a different combination up front. We're going to last season's Van der Hoek, Thorgerson and Gashi to see if that has the breakthrough. The two Dortmund boys, very quiet today. So perhaps they're just Bundesliga players. Perhaps we need to go with the three that got us to a Champions League final last year in the big Champions League games. We're going to go an entire episode without scoring a goal here, aren't we? This was never part of the plan. We've been so good for so long, and now I turn the camera on, and we've been really poor. I'll admit I got it tactically wrong today, but I still don't understand the Leipzig. Well, I do understand it. I did quite a good analysis of it. I understand why it went wrong, but I'm not entirely sure how to fix it because I don't know that we have that playmaker that we need in attacking areas. Maybe Lust needs a tactical tweak. Maybe he needs to be an advanced playmaker. But I still remember Miles telling me a year and a half ago, don't play with two playmakers. And I'm not going to stop having Vermonti as a playmaker because I love him. So I'm kind of hands are tied a little bit with how I use Lust. I'm glad we'd already qualified because that was poor. We now have to win the last game to hope to win the group because we want to be seeded in the draw for the next round. We don't want to be facing some of the big super teams too early on. That would just be painful. Right, we will be back tomorrow. We'll probably go all the way through to that Dortmund game because that will give us Dortmund and Schalke and the end of the transfer window in January. So I think that will be probably a good place to come back tomorrow. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.